To remind everyone, first of all, we'd appreciate if you would either put on airplane mode or turn off any type of electronic device. This meeting is being recorded. Your participation in this meeting, if you wish to participate, you're giving us our consent to have broadcasts on the town's YouTube channel. We have a little different format than what we've had before, and it's just an additional section. And after we have our regular meeting, there's going to be a time for people in the audience that may want to question council members about anything that took place during the agenda. So, first of all, roll call, please.
Lynn Clevenger.
Present.
Joe Day.
Present.
Jeannie Monroe. Here. Sally Ricciardi.
Here.
And Dan Mears.
Will you all please join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America,
to the republic
which stands
one nation
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on the agenda is public concern utility ordinance violations. Anyone in the room for an ordinance violation or utility concern or anything? Anyone online? Okay. Next item on the agenda is public dialogue. And this is the opportunity for all of you to ask questions to the council as far as anything that's on the agenda or any other items that you may have in your mind. So is there anyone that wishes to participate in public dialogue? Yes, sir.
Terry Cheselene, 520 South Plymouth. Just was looking for perhaps an update on the curb painting situation. Now, I might have snatched that out of your manager's meeting, but go ahead.
No, it's okay. We last left it. We've completed our main corridor offshoots downtown here. In terms of the prioritization of the painting, everything that was on the schedule has been done. For now, we've set it aside as we've completed our first round. I have not asked Bob about a second round painting, Carrie, if we're going to move to the southern end of town. We did establish some of the no parking and some of Lakeview. In terms of the painting, I've received some feedback from citizens and I've shared that with council consideration. And we're going to work on a more standardized schedule for painting as well and standards. Hopefully we'll have a total parking ordinance in place, kind of capturing everything that has been done, as well as a schedule for painting and prioritization, as well as footage and what are the measurements. Terry, I'll take your question. I'll ask Bob tomorrow morning to see if we have a second round plan and where we're at.
When you say you are looking at the ordinance, we have an ordinance in place for that.
Oh, no, yes, that's correct. All I want to do is consolidate. We've had several ordinances over the years. I'd like to refresh, create an evergreen document kind of where that we can just reinsert things. We've had a lot of amendments. I think it's time to capture all those, put them in a single document, making it easy to reference, but also additionally adding the standards on which we measure, how we determine where no parking is and how far that no parking is. So there's clarity and transparency for the public to understand and that we are consistent in that. And then the next thing I would like to do is provide the public within that ordinance a prioritization schedule, why we determine where we're painting when we paint. Obviously, we've targeted areas. We plan to do the whole town, but cost prohibitive in time. We can't do it all at once. I want people to understand why we prioritize certain streets and how we're moving through the town, establishing no parking.
Okay, and the development of this revitalized policy, is that going to hold up the painting that's still scheduled or possible?
No, because I plan on doing it in November when we get time, and that will be passed, and that way we have a document ready to be performed in the spring when it's painting. Hopefully we get it scheduled in spring, early summer.
So you're saying that the completion of the painting won't happen until next year?
I'm saying that I'm not sure if we're completed this year. I'm gonna discuss that matter with Bob, and find out if we have a second round or if we're completed. I apologize that I haven't communicated about that. And then what I'm saying is I plan on revising the ordinance, creating the schedule and having it in place. So when we go into next year, we'll have a document to guide us in that procedure.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to address the council on any issue that's on the agenda? If not, we'll begin the regular council meeting at this time. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the July 9th, 2026 regular meeting. Councilors, have we all had a chance to review and any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Monroe. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ricciardi. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Approval of the minutes is passed. New business. Jenny?
Jenny's not here, but.
Well,
We're
okay,
here
we
in
have
the
all right, welcome,
Thank you. Thanks for
Culver
having me.
Academies.
Yes, thanks for having
We're
me.
being ganged up on here.
I know we brought an entourage. I'll start off. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
So my name's Meg Blakely, and I'm one of the 3 co-chairs for this year's Culver Live the Legacy auction, which is an auction that we have every 2 years at the Academy. We raise money for scholarships, faculty salaries, student programming, and this year the auction is going to take place October 2nd. We've got some notes here, forgive me. I first want to just thank you for letting us all come here and speak. Thanks for your service to our community. We recognize that every decision you make is made with the best interest of Culver, the community, and we appreciate your willingness to consider our request. I told you a little bit at the auction. We usually have about 1,000 parents, alumni, grandparents, and supporters that attend the auction. We co-chaired the event 2 years ago and raised $2 million. This year, our goal is $2.1 million. To reach that goal, we depend on extraordinary auction experiences, items that people simply cannot purchase anywhere. Tonight, we'd like to ask the town to consider partnering with us by donating a town boat slip for this year's auction. It's a highly coveted item, as you know. It's very hard to get, which is why we are here. I'm going to turn it over to one of my co-chairs.
I'm not reading.
Okay, she's gonna speak. Sandy.
I'm Sandy Markle. This is
I'm
Catherine
Catherine
Bentley.
Bentley.
This is Mary Smuziak and then Julie Barger too. So the 3 of us are parents and we volunteer our time and we just love Culver so much. And then we get to work with Mary and Julie, who really are the brains behind that operation. But we're here to ask for your support of the auction. It happens every other year. Like Meg said, this year our goal is to raise $2.1 million. We need some extraordinary experiences and items that will help us get there. A boat slip, like Meg mentioned, that's what we're here to ask for today. We know that they're highly coveted. We know that there aren't that many to be had. It will not just be another auction item for us, which is why we're here for you today. It's one of the most unique experiences that you can get in Culver. It's something that links the Culver summer schools with the winter schools. It's something that anybody and everybody would be so grateful to be able to bid on, supporting the community and the school. For many people, Lake Maxinkuckee is the heart of this community, whether someone grew up here or attended the academies or they spent their summers with their family and time creating memories on the lake. So because of that, we believe that a town boat slip would be one of the most anticipated auction items that we could promote and give credit to the community and your council for donating on behalf of this town. Rather than generating a few $100s, we do anticipate this would generate thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Some of our items go for $80,000. We have a pretty unique experience this year that is valued at over $180,000. So this is not that out of the range for someone to donate tens of thousands of dollars to be able to receive this. So it would generate a lot of revenue for the school, and that's why we're humbly asking for your support. I would say too, we are willing to work with any conditions that you, the board, would have. We would take your lead in how that would work. We don't even really know. So we would leave that to you to work with you. Should you decide to donate, there's always a fine print that we can add to the auction item. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't have any questions. I know that we've done this with the CYC Culver Youth Club. And I think last year, the year before, we decided it was like a 1 season or 1 year. I believe the previous year, the person who won could re-up at a normal rate.
Okay.
I think they won at auction. They paid like $13,000 for it. The irony of this, by the way, we used to put it in the Boys and Girls Club auction as a silent auction item. And we'd get what, $1,000, $2,000 for it.
Really?
We got the bright idea a few years ago to make it a live auction item. And we had the park director send out to the wait list, we're going to auction off this pier slip. And it just went gangbusters, which, raised significant money for the club. And I think that year it was, if you win it, then you can renew it afterwards. And I think the next year we did it, renewable was I don't know if it was like you could do it one summer and then maybe
It's
you had
always
to
been,
go on the
it's
list.
always been renewable as you described it.
Right.
It's not a perpetual free
Sure.
spot.
Right.
Right.
You pay the normal summer rate
What you're,
the next
what you're
year.
bidding on. It's
Yeah.
going to
I
be
think we'd have to make sure there's one available.
Okay.
Because like some summers people leave or they've moved out of town, they give up their slip. But we have to make sure there's a slip, and I assume you'd want it for next season, 27.
Yes.
We will not have that information normally, excuse my interruption, but just
Sure.
logistically, we normally don't have that information until postseason. So it's November. So we won't know. We oftentimes have one. The practice has always been, though, in the auction for the CYC, is to give, quite frankly, the most less desirable spot that's left.
Sure.
Right? And so usually the spots are filled, the rotation is met, and the CYC auction was beginning of summer, June-ish.
Yeah, it's always in June.
And we had already established, and we always held one spot back after the rotation. Believe me, it's a complicated process of rotating into the piers as people leave. There's an existing clientele waiting list that is prioritized if they so choose to take the next spot that's been evacuated. And then there's this massive rotation that goes on, and then we're left with spots at the end.
Sure.
I don't know if we'd know that in time. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest with that.
See if anyone's left at this point. Talk to Crystal about
Mhm.
what's there, and I don't have an issue with doing it.
Sure.
Because we've done it for the local school as well, and they're moving their auction to an every other year
Yes.
because
How we do it.
we thought I used to sit on the board and I still help with their auction, and we thought we'd be more competitive to not compete the same year as the Academy. So like CYC is not going to do every year like they used to. It's too much work.
It
Yeah.
We feel your pain.
Really.
I've done it about 20 some years, Mary.
Yeah.
We used to do it together in
that
the old
together.
days. I don't envy you at all. But that's one reason we switched. So we wouldn't be competing with the other organization if we were to do something for Culver Academies, who supports our emergency services. And I think we should support their efforts to do their fundraising as well. We're a good partner, so I have no issue with it if it's available,
Thank you.
or if we have one available, I guess is what I'm saying.
My big question is basically the same as hers. They fill up fast, whether there's one available or not. Would be the big question.
Do you always have one available and then the wait list funnels in? Or do you sometimes not even have one available for the wait
Yeah,
list?
sometimes we don't have any. And sometimes we have a jet ski one available and sometimes those are full. Kind of depends, I think. In the early years, we always had availability, but now
It's very.
our
competitive.
waiting list could go 10 years before you get
The
one.
waiting list is beyond 70 and it's residency first, prioritized on the waiting list. And right now, people are calling me and saying, hey, where am I at? And I tell them where they're at on the waiting list. They said, I've been waiting 3 years or 5 years. And so they're very, you have identified it. They are highly sought after. We usually have a spot right now, but the complicated, I learned it having to manage it after Amber lived 1 year, and I couldn't not be happier that I didn't have to manage it this year. But it is a complicated rotation process. And what you're left with, you can fill every single spot from the waiting list.
Sure.
The determination, what it comes down to is people start making business decisions. This is the worst spot on the pier. Do you want it this year or do you want, because you're at the head of the list, or are you going to wait till next year and maybe get a more desirable spot? It's a waiting game. It's a strategic move, and I can't answer how it goes.
Sure.
It's a fluid thing.
So some of the spots are on the outside and they're better for a bigger boat, for example. So if Crystal had one available and said, here's the specs, then you just have to make sure you're advertising those specs to your client
Yes.
base.
You would
And
take
I-
what we could get.
Yeah.
But also I would like to add, if this isn't happening for this auction, for the next co-chairs, which will not be us, I would like that to also be someone on the agenda or on the minds of you all for in 2028 for the auction, because we always want to help our next co-chairs along. Or since we were last year or 2 years ago, and now we're doing it again. I'm just trying to help out the next round of people also.
Well, I think
Something
this
will
is-
happen.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I said, hopefully maybe something will be available this year.
Well, I think this is a fantastic opportunity to help with the auction and help people become more familiar with us in town as, and I would like to make a motion that we allow a slip to be part of your auction, subject to availability. If that would be agreeable to all of you.
That'd be wonderful.
What about the timing though? And knowing that our auction is October 2nd, to make sure that we promote it and really give it the credit that it's due and make sure to put it in the program. I think September 20th, is that enough time to get it in? Would that be
For it to
possible?
be a live auction item, we would have to probably have it no later than the 20th. However, we do expand ours to be online, so people that aren't even in the room, we touch more than the 1,200 adults in attendance. We reach out to other, they're Culver affiliated families. It's not an open auction. You have to know someone or call and say, I'm a community member. It's a closed auction because we have a lot of our alumni and parents that are giving their family vacation homes. And so we want to make sure there's some type of connection to us as a whole, but that to make it in the program, it would have to be then, but to make it online, I could do it the day before. So
I mean, I would
What that
guess
means.
that Crystal will at least have a vague idea. I mean, people started talking to her about it. So I think you just continually check in with her. I'm comfortable seconding that motion and then we just communicate something to Crystal and get you in touch with Crystal and worst case scenario, you know, if we can't make it available because of timing, then maybe we save one for the 2028 version of the auction. But typically she's hearing from people toward the end of summer. And some people just move away. Sure. We had someone announce on TGL that they were moving and they wanted to sell their house with the slip.
Oh, wow.
It has such value to people now that we had to tell them, you don't get to sell our slip. I'm glad to know it's of great value.
Yeah.
You can't sublease.
And we
Yeah.
take,
No.
take pretty strong pride in that we haven't increased the rates of those slips to the degree we could, because we do want it to be affordable to our residents, and many of them already pay a tax on the park, and, you know, so. But it was kind of funny to see that ad for their slip. I was like, oh, they're not gonna love it. An email from our park director.
Is there room to add more slips? Just curious.
No,
Okay.
it's controlled by DNR.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd make
Great
great bank on
swimming.
that.
Yeah.
The chair's motion has been made and it's been seconded by Mr. Monroe. Councilors, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Put the same sign.
Council, with your directive, would you like me to be the one to pursue with Crystal if there's a spot available
Yeah.
or that, and I'll communicate directly with Mary at the Academy? Very good. I'll have that, and I understand the date being 9/20. I'll try to have an answer for you next week.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Is the auction November?
October 2nd.
October 2nd, that's could be real quick.
I know, we know.
Don't say that.
If I could just add, as we have these passed around to everyone on the board, that it's not just these coveted items that make a difference. It's the plate of made brownies. It's the hand carved Christmas ornaments. It's all type of experiences, all type of donations. It's a bag of Culver tchotchkes that anything and everything has value and helps us bring it to this goal. So if you would personally have anything that you might consider.
Yes. You would be amazed at what the plate collections.
I ended up with that plate collection. It ended up in the original QM box.
Oh, my gosh.
With
no
the
one had
tissue
that.
and the whole bit from like the year they sold them.
Quartermaster boxes.
Kind of where they've never come out of that box.
They should always say it.
I know, those
I
are
took 'em out.
special.
They're
You didn't get rid of the QM box though, did you?
No, I still.
Okay.
It's
But this is something that people in our community, not just Culver Academies affiliated people, come to this auction, have a wonderful time. So many businesses, we rely very heavily on our vendors. And that's how we've been able to really bring it to the success that it is today, is because now we turn back around and say, we're putting up so many buildings and putting in so much brick. How can you help us make this a success? What do you have? And it goes for so many kids, especially in Marshall County, that we're supporting more now than ever with scholarships, with opportunities. And anything that you would like to donate, we would be very grateful for.
Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you all
much.
for coming.
Thank you.
Board and commissioner reports.
Yes, sir. Away we go. First start. Aha. We'll start with, Plan Commission met this week. The Plan Commission heard one case, case B004. It was simply a combination of several lots within to one unit. It was approved. The Plan Commission also voted upon two recommendations, for ordinance revisions of our zoning. The first one is ADU, which was a successful vote unanimously. And the second one is to allow golf cart and ATV repair and service within C1, mirroring that of C2. Both of were approved. I'll bring those before the council on 8/13 as an ordinance for revision. There will be a public hearing and we'll hopefully be able to make those recommendations or changes in the ordinance, as both are strongly recommended. Secondly, during the course of our Plan Commission in a work session, a consideration has been put forth and we've discussed it as a Plan Commission. Currently within our zoning ordinance, we do not have the ability to provide governance over excavation and fill of a vacant lot. We do have control over tear downs of establishing grade. We do with existing building. However, we, through an appeal that was made, which was subsequently withdrawn, we came to realize now there is a county ordinance that governs it for over 1,000 cubic yards of fill or 10,000 square feet. I've asked Plan Commission their permission to bring forth a draft of another revision for recommendation before the council that provides governance over fill and excavation. More importantly, fill. Normally, when you tear down a house, the grade is established. Any fill that's put in after that point would be counted against the height, which is 35 foot. You put in 6 foot of fill, you build a 29-foot house. However, if you have a vacant lot, there's nothing that truly governs it according to our ordinances. Now, even if this lot is smaller than 100 by 100, which would be 10,000, we still, I think, need governance. Because, and more importantly, the drainage. It can create drainage issues unintentionally or intentionally for neighbors. And we need to have some type of control mechanism or at least a review process in front of the BZA to approve that. What that looks like, what the square footage is, I seek the guidance of the Plan Commission in that conversation. So we'll be working on that moving forward. It was a productive time, and I really do appreciate the work that the Plan Commission has put forth and the diligence
So
on it.
Kevin, if the Plan Commission writes that in for Culver, do we necessarily have to follow the county?
No, as long as it's matching or greater than. I think even in this case, that's only with state statute, Jenny. I think that we would take precedence according to home rule.
Yeah.
And that any ordinance that we have establishes policy within our zoning jurisdiction. In the absence of having a policy, the zoning jurisdiction of the county would apply.
Sure.
And that's the case with Phil right now.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you guys want to.
I appreciate it. I think it's needed. BZA had one case. It was case B004. That case was tabled with some concerns that would express to the homeowner, not necessarily as a means of saying, go fix this and come back, we'll approve it, but rather we recommend this. These are some things that are in your control that aren't requiring variances. See if you can fix them and minimize the variances you're requesting. I thought it was due diligence of the BZA. And they correctly identified several issues with the variances that needed to be corrected. I appreciated the work on that. It was a productive meeting. Income wise, within the zoning permits or the building permits, we received 2,000. This is for the month of May. I apologize, I don't have June's report yet. For the month of May, $2,806.20. That 20 cents is important. Don't kid yourself, Joe. On building permits. Roof permits, $90, and a fence permit for $25. And we received for electrical permit $100. You will be pleased to know that amongst these permits was a demolition permit for the theater for $75. That's the best $75 I think that they can see. We appreciate the work that was done there. I think we've said it once, but I want to say it again. They did a great job, and I felt like they really honored the commitment of getting that done before Lake Fest. I appreciate that. That checks off plan and BZA redevelopment.
Mr. Shardy, you have something for redevelopment?
Yeah, we met last Thursday and I've slept since then, but got some notes. We did approve a side grant for 202 South Main Street to paint the building. And we also discussed the Lakeshore Drive and Park project study. And that supports small business, support through the program with the MCEDC and Small Business Administration. Barb Johnson and Marty Oosterbaan are working on that and trying to get input for the programs and goals for the agenda.
That SBA course would be offered to our local business owners.
Right.
Up to like, I think 15 or 20 could attend,
Right.
especially if it's like a new business owner or an entrepreneur. SBA for a decent fee will come to your community and offer the course locally. And we've got interest in that on Main Street and some of the Main Street merchants, just FYI. A redevelopment can fund that type of thing.
You know, Marty also mentioned that he had seen with Glen Air had
Got
been
canceled.
canceled.
Yeah.
Saw that on TLG. And I didn't see it online.
It just came out. again
Usually goes
today.
to.
Jeff sent a message to the community that they're canceling plenty, or they've had troubles getting enough. So that's a busy weekend, and a lot of, since they moved it to August, a lot of the homeowners that used to donate their house for the artists to stay in couldn't. I was one of them because we had people there for a wedding. So they didn't have enough places to put the artists. There was another reason, I think he cited that I can't recall, but so they canceled it. So I don't know if they'll bring it, that was not every other year that they were doing it, so I don't know if they'll plan for next year and maybe move the date back to September again. I think they were hoping if they could have it in the summer season, we'd have more local attendance with, you know, tourists and lake people, but that ended up sort of hindering them in terms of housing and that sort of thing.
Anything else?
No.
Tree commission.
Playing the part of tree commissioner. Had a good meeting with the tree commission and we established the schedule. The RFP is out for tree removal. Also some pruning and one stump removal. The trees this year are going to be minimal for the removal, but some of them are quite significant. The large pine that's causing damage on sidewalk to the homeowner on Lake Shore Drive is on the list. Right up here uptown, the ginormous tree that stands there. There's some issues with that tree. I vetted it with the tree commission. They've requested it, Bob requested it, the homeowner requested it. So we're looking at that one. That's going to be a big one. That's going to need some coordination. But apart from that, the list is out, ready to go, and Bob's going to get me some quotes, not RFP, just getting quotes for it. Should have that back. I'd like to see that work done by September, moving forward. Also coordinating with Davies. Davies was here last week, 2 loads of water on the new trees. There are concerned with 5 of the maples along the school. We're monitoring those. I'm going to coordinate with Davies and find out when we call the official time of and replace those. But we'll find out. Dennis is out there with the index finger sticking in the ground, making sure the moisture is there, and he's doing a great job. I love Dennis. He's committed. They also asked me to get a schedule from Davies for maintenance and some of the dates. They do 4 quarterly reports on the trees in terms of health check, and I've learned more about trees than I thought I'd ever would. And we've got some really great people here that are checking them. So working with Dennis on that and making sure that gets done. So tree commission all as well, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll come right into the town manager
Take a
portion of
breath.
my show.
Now we have the town manager.
Hi,
report.
Kevin Dante, town manager. Tonight I have several things. The first thing I would like to request from the council tonight is the approval of our council president, Mr. Clevenger's signature on the agreed order from IDEM that we've discussed during executive session and has been put forth to the council.
I'll make the motion to authorize Bill Clevenger to sign the item order.
Mr. Monroe moves to authorize the president to sign the order. Second. Second by Mr. Day. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same.
Thank you, council, in the book for your signature, sir, after the meeting. I have a special permit request 8/8/26. This is the second Saturday. Say that really fast. It's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We are looking at this time shutting down Main Street from Jefferson to Madison. Liz Lemereau of Three Bird Lane is going to be doing the coordination. She worked with me. She sends apologies. She gave this to me today. I have not obtained the signatures of the department heads, but it's the same exact second Saturday setup with the exception. This time we'll put the barricades up, which we had already approved for the last time. I'll coordinate with Bob and I'll obtain the signatures. She's be able to provide an attachment with this, with the event description, event parking plan. They would like to put some outdoor seating maybe in the street this time, create nice atmosphere. They're also, this is the big sell, and Liz, if you're listening, you better deliver. They're bringing back Sally's for the day. So Sally's Ice Cream, yeah, there you go. It doesn't matter what I say after that, does it? I'm there. Yeah, we'll get it barricaded and she's expecting 50 to 75. I think we're going to do better than that. It's Main Street again from Jefferson to Madison. I'll coordinate with the department heads. Tonight, I'm going to ask for a conditional approval, special event permit for second Saturday on 8/8/26, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. with the condition that I obtain the signatures of the department heads.
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Monroe. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Shardy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Kevin, do you think their door will come through before then? Maybe.
Surely do appreciate that question, Deb. I've got my fingers crossed, and like every good Catholic, I'm lighting candles. I'm hoping yes. I did coordinate on Tuesday. I had a conversation down in Indianapolis with the permit, the submittal person. She had a couple questions I was able to answer and clarify. She appreciated the conversation because it gave her the opportunity to directly, and she said that should streamline the process. One of the things was put a big yellow star on Cafe Max, which we did, and I labeled and sent the map provision. That was the only thing that she said wasn't a big deal given the small proximity of it, but that was it. Pending approval, I'm not going to comment. It's Indianapolis. I'm hoping that I get it back. If we were to get it back at the end of this month, and we were able to obtain the signs and Bob's able to put those up, I don't see any reason why, but cross my fingers, knock on wood, we'll play it by ear. And if it's possible, I will provide the way of getting it done.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Moving forward, you interrupted the train of thought.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. What we're looking at, several conversations during the course of the week that I've had, and I want to make sure that I'm doing due diligence as we move into the budget. I want to thank Karen first and foremost. She's provided me with spreadsheets that are amazing. Seriously, they help guide my conversations with the department right now. As I mentioned earlier, I'm sitting down with each department head, and some of the things that I'm acquiring is 3 successes, 3 challenges. What's your major concerns for 2027? Where's your resource? And I'm taking them through personnel. We're having conversations about personnel recruitment, retention, and training. I want to understand where they're at and what we need to do to support that. What are anticipated needs for 28, 29 as we grow? The next is equipment, separate from vehicles. I'm asking him about equipment. Bobby Cooper and I had a wonderful conversation. His line item for maintenance is going to be higher next year because he sees more maintenance rather than purchase. And he's trying to take a look at some of the fire hoses, things like that with testing. Speaking with Lisa, representing the EMS for now, she's looking at that part-time model and she's trying to figure out personnel. Scheduling is going well, and it's interesting to hear the strengths and maybe some of the challenges, especially with organizing the rig. They've done a lot of work over there in terms of that. Bob is tomorrow. Chad, I've had numerous conversations with, and we've talked about personnel there. We're talking about that 5th officer, and we're talking about maybe getting a rotational officer that can come in, assigning somebody for investigations that would free up. They could be a floater on the schedule, bringing him in there in days. He would be able to travel to communities. And that is a need for him. He sees himself most pleasingly, most of our departments have seen themselves well equipped. Vehicles are starting, there's some replacement schedule, but I'm confident our big purchases, the rigs over in EMS, we're looking at 2 to 3 years before we have a conversation probably. Bobby's happy with where he's moving. He says the brush truck is going to, the refurb they did on the brush truck might get it 10 more years. He's going to check back in with it in 5. The tanker is working. So I don't see any major purchases coming down the line. That's always good. Obviously, with Bob and the wastewater plant, some of the things we've successfully done in check box with the GeoBond, with the water, the meters that we're putting in, the upgrades, the software, we're making positive progress. I want to make sure that we're providing, Jenny mentioned this earlier about retention and training. I think it's a big part of who they are. These are committed individuals, and we want to make sure that we honor that and facilitate it. I appreciated your question today too, Sally, to Ben. How do we support them, right? A lot of these guys, they have great value. They're marketable, and we want to keep them. And so I want to make sure that we honor that. Karen and I have wonderful conversations, and hopefully going to have numbers, but we're going to move into our departmental conversations here in the next week, and we'll be coming to the council. But that was good. Also, I want to thank Karen because we're revising some things on special permit. The paper trail is good. I've been able to manage it, get the signatures, but we can streamline this and make it an online application in which she's looking into different solutions for that. Google Docs, she's smarter than me, so I just step back and say thank you. So definitely want to acknowledge that. Lastly, I want to acknowledge an award that Karen Heim won recently at her conference for, what was it again, Karen?
Which conference we did.
No, the award?
We were, is it ILMCT Servant of the Year?
Yeah, I know, and appropriately so. I was very proud of my colleague and friend and well deserved. So I want to acknowledge that publicly. Thank you.
That's fine. Never report.
I just have a couple of claims over 2,500 for your approval. The Hooters Tree Service LLC for 5,500. That was for the tree removal at the park. And then United States Geological Survey. This is the annual fee that we pay to maintain the lake gauge. And we partner with the Academies and the Lake Jackson County Environmental Council. But that check was going off for $4,400 and we'll be reimbursed a third, 2/3 of that by the Academies and the Environmental Council.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Ms. Maroon moves to approve claims over $2,500. Can you have a second, please? Second by Mr. Shardy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
The second thing I have is, Kevin mentioned, it's the budget work sessions coming up. Everyone's favorite time of year, especially mine. And I'm looking right now at the week of August 3rd through the 7th. If you could, I sent this out earlier, but if you could just give me a couple of times and days to avoid, that hopefully opens up a lot more time that I can coordinate schedules between department heads, by department heads, the township trustee and the 5 of you.
I have to avoid the 7th just because I'm part of a wedding situation.
So August 3 through 6.
I can do that, so I can make it work.
Is it possible to do any daytime?
I can spend some daytime. How's your schedule? Are you back at school that week?
School won't have started yet, but practices will. And I don't know the practice schedules, but I could probably sneak away if I have to. But I'm probably not like the very first day of practices. I'll probably need to be there to make sure people are ready.
The days are a possibility.
But yes, days are a possibility.
Are your practices like morning or afternoon?
Yes.
But Joe, every minute of the day practically. 'Cause they. Yeah.
Yes, on the others are.
Well, that helps at least for those department heads who work a normal, like who are working full-time here. So.
I'm very open the 4th and 5th.
Okay. So let's forget that.
The 6th and 7th get ugly for me just because I gotta get my wedding hair and all that other stuff.
I will chart it for the 4th and the 5th.
I'm at my niece's mercy.
And we'll go from there. I will be working on the next day and then the first of next week. So
Okay.
we are going to try to meet with Marlene and EMS and the fire specifically so that she's in on those conversations earlier. It seems to go a lot smoother when it comes to getting it before we go. And I am trying to send you out a couple of links. I've been messing with spreadsheets the last couple of nights. And and I've got some nice information spreadsheets to be able to share with you that show just some graphs and you'll be able to see almost in real time where our finances are.
Oh, nice.
Real time meaning is when I get that information entered. But I will get this to you. They'll give me a little bit of a headache.
She showed it, I'm sorry, I gotta brag. She showed it to me this morning. The dashboard is pretty awesome because as she puts it in, it migrates over. And it's for an idiot like me. You look at it and I understand it. Like that's beautiful. It's neat.
So, and then I just want to thank those who were instrumental in putting letters for that. So, thank you.
You deserve it.
Thank you so much.
And that's all I have.
Pardon?
That's all I have.
Oh, that's all you had? Okay. Now's the time. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments of the council to pertaining to anything we discussed on the agenda? Yes, sir.
527 Plymouth. I know we don't have a building inspector. Where are we in the process?
Yeah, any good recommendations, Gary?
Well, I mean, with you, but I just don't know where he's standing.
The advertisement's been out. I've received 0 replies. You're looking at it. So just for clarity and understanding of the community, number one, I'm not a building inspector, nor do I do the inspection of building or permitting. That is done by Marshall County, Adam Combs. With the guidance of some very good people in the county, I've acquired enough knowledge to be able to adjudicate plan commission and BZA cases. I process a ton of help from inside the clerk's office, including Christine, Julie, and Karen. We get the public hearings out, we get the notices out, and they do the mailings. So we're working as a team on this, and it's worked out well. The cases are going well simply because I have a very experienced at my disposal BZA and plan commission. Luckily, I'm not even monkey or the guy directing the circus. I'm just the guy that's pushing paper and coordinating. They do the rest, and they've been wonderful. I've appreciated the opportunity to do the job because I've acquired an enormous amount of knowledge about zoning, about ordinances and enforcement. To my best of ability, I try to do that, right, with limited resources. I think it worked out well. But again, I'd like to reiterate, Carrie, if you know anyone.
No, it's good to know that it's still.
I think it's time maybe I repost because it's probably got a little bit of mildew on it, but we'll get to that. And I appreciate your question. Thanks.
It took us a year to get that position filled when Steve came in.
They don't.
And I went through the same thing you did, getting the experience, having to deal with that process. I don't envy Kevin that. Because it's a lot of logistics work and a lot of paperwork and very detailed. And we should probably figure out how to deal with getting someone into that role, whether it's a higher wage or whatever the case is. But we can talk about it more at budget time too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Counselors. Issues, Ms. Monroe.
I want to congratulate Karen on the Servant Leadership Award. I got to read some of the letters people wrote about her. They made me cry a little. I don't know if you're all aware that when Karen started, she started in an empty office. There wasn't a stick of furniture. That office that she works in now was piled high with boxes dating back to the 1950s. The previous clerk just decided to leave the place like that. And I was down here on Karen's first day and she looked at me and said, I think I need to go get my desk from home to get started. And off she went, came back with a laptop and a desk, and somehow she got payroll done that Friday. And it's been nothing but miracles ever since. It was a lot of fun to gather the input that people gave. And the one thing about Karen that a lot of you aren't aware of is all these conferences that she has attended as part of her clerk's background. She always brings that knowledge back and she shares it well beyond these walls. And so some of the people who wrote letters about Karen's commitment to the work wrote about sharing knowledge. And I know for a fact she's been gathering clerks in this county for years, some of whom were new at their jobs and much better for it because she didn't leave them without sticks of furniture and laptops, but helped teach these people. And then whenever legislation changes, we're the first to know about it because Karen tells us about it. But also, you know, when legislation comes out, they start telling you you have to do things like must meetings. Who's organizing those in Marshall County? Our clerk. And I see the value of that in my day job and as a councilwoman who's been around Karen for many years. And I'm glad that we met in a coffee shop years ago and I talked her into running for office. And I'm glad that that desk and that laptop she brought created a lot of really powerful, good, productive work for the town of Culver because without a clerk who knows what they're doing, it can be a really tough situation. And we've been really fortunate because we all get along great because our clerk does good work. And you so deserve that award, so congrats.
Mr. Shardy?
I'll congratulate Karen as well. I will give a long speech. Congratulations.
Mr. Day?
Um,
Chair wishes to congratulate Karen and our sincere appreciation as far as our council is concerned to all your efforts and hard work. We're very fortunate to have you as our clerk, have someone as outstanding as you.
It's very important.
That being said, a motion to adjourn,
Don't it?
moved by Mr. Monroe,
Second.
second by Mr. Shardy. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.